Hi everybody, it's Angel from The Elegant Thread. Today, let's talk about Father Lee, the sampler. Okay, I said I'd make a video about Father Lee, so here it is. I want to say, before I started making this video, I went to find all of the stuff that I wanted to talk about, and I couldn't find the model. And I thought that I lost the model, and I almost had a heart attack. I thought, oh my God, why is it always the one thing that you're looking for, you just can't find? And every time I put something in a very safe place so I will never lose it, that inevitably means I'm going to lose it. So I don't even know. Okay, so, but I found it. So let's do that. I found it. Here it is. This is Father Lee. So I want to talk about what is this sampler? What gave me the idea? Why is it called that? What do you use to make it? All of that kind of stuff. So when I lived, I'll just hold it here. Originally, the thought came to me from a small booklet I saw called Father B Stitches. And it was a Reverend Robert Blackburn that lived in North Carolina, and he published stitches in like Needle Pointers magazine. He wasn't a cross stitcher, he was a needle pointer. And he published them in magazines like in the 90s. So someone put all of his stuff together and they put it in a little booklet. I was flipping through it and I thought, I really like some of these. Now, I think I could take them and make them into something you could do in the cross stitch world. And you know me, I love specialty stitches. And why not? Let's use some princess floss. Let's use all of those interesting things that you see and you wonder, what can I do with that? So I designed this and I named it after an Episcopal priest that I used to know that lived in Pensacola, Florida. I'll tell you about him. So when I was in flight school there, I went to this church. I don't even remember the name of it. But there was a retired Air Force pilot there named Father Lee. And he used to wear this big Screaming Eagle belt buckle. And his wife, Mother Shirley, when they retired, both of them went to seminary and became Episcopalian priests. So they were just a riot. They were fun people. They actually made me want to go to church. And I had a lot in common with Father Lee because he was a retired pilot. So very, very interesting people. And I've always remember them. I always remember the very first time I had escargot was at their house. So it just fun little things about those two people. And I've lost touch with them 20, 30, some odd years ago. And I think about them all the time. So that's why I named this Father Lee, kind of, in memory of him, because he was special. And next year, I'm going to design, I've already started designing it, I'm going to design Mother Shirley. So Father Lee is done in blues. It's a dark blue, a light blue, and kind of a greenish color, seafoam greenish kind of color. And it has gold threads and white threads. Mother Shirley is going to have rose-colored silks and things. So it's a chance to use some princess floss. Yeah, I dug through. Let's talk about what's in it. So here's the chart, Father Lee, and on the back it says what I used. I used soie d'Alger. Let me get some. Soie d'Alger. It's a silk floss. You can probably get this at your local needlework store. Soie d'Alger. It's very nice floss. I like working with it. I used one strand of soie d'Alger working with it because Father Lee is stitched on 36 count. Here we go. It's 36 count Edinburgh linen dark cobblestone. Yeah. You could also do it on something just a little lighter if the dark color bothers you. You could do it on something like wood smoke or something like that. I think I called for wood smoke in the chart, but I also said what it's actually stitched on, which is dark cobblestone. I kind of like this color. I've been wanting to stitch something on this kind of color for a long time, but I didn't want to do like a full big, big Mamma Jamma sampler on it. Let's do something smaller. This was perfect. So, and then I said, okay, so I have my silks. I picked the colors that I liked, and I also used a pearl from DMC. It's a DMC 12 pearl, which is just a little bit thicker than, it's a lot thicker than regular DMC, but you don't take this apart when you use it. You just use the whole strand of this DMC. When you use pearl cotton, you don't separate it. You do separate the soie d'Alger into single strands. And then I also used DMC, a metallic thread from DMC. I don't even know where I got this, but you could probably get it on the interwebs. So it comes off the spool and you do separate it. Here it is. It just kind of comes apart on its own. That's one strand. And then it separates into three. So it's three-stranded, and you only use one of these strands when you stitch Father Lee. And the very last type of floss that I used was from Kreinik, and it's called Japan thread. Kreinik Japan thread number 5. Now the number 5 tells you what thickness this gold is. Here it is. You do not separate this. So the one strand of Japan thread number 5 is, you just use it just like that. It comes in 7, is a little thicker, number 5. Number 3 would be a little thinner, getting down thin, like something like this for the number 1 or 2. This is used in gold work. The Japan threads are used in gold work. So you can find, usually, you can find it online, but people that do needlework or gold work those kinds of stores that specialize in that will have these kinds of threads. You may not find Japan thread at your local needlework store because most people don't cross stitch with it, but it's not impossible to find. What you can get at your local needlework stores, sometimes you can find DMC pearl cotton there as well, but the DMC items should be available. The soie d'Alger should be available, and you can find the Japan thread online. And then I used some glass beads, little Magnifica glass beads. They're easy to find. And I also had, let me pick it up. So I also used just a few of these little white pearl beads, and they are just 3mm beads. You can get in the jewelry section of like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or some kind of store like that. So just little 3mm, like I said, in the jewelry section is usually where you find stuff like that. And that's just what I used to stitch this, but you can use whatever you want. It's a sampler. So dig around in your stash and find something that interests you and see what you can come up with. I think that would be really neat. So there he is. Boop, boop. Don't look at the crookedness of the framing because that would be me. Like I said, I can stitch, but finishing, no bueno. Okay, yeah. So in the chart, you're like, well, how did you do all of those? The manager of marketing has pointed out that the colors on the chart are not good. They don't match, she says, the colors of the actual model. Well, of course, we all know that in the cross-stitch world. When you send something off to be printed, what colors actually come back often don't really represent what the model looks like. So I put a second picture on the back that I think is a little bit lighter, that shows more of blue color, shows more of the actual colors that you're going to be getting, because the front came out a little bit dark. So inside, I created my own stitch diagrams, and what I did, I'll show you since it's my chart anyways, I gave a picture of what the final square is supposed to look like on, and in the front I have a layout of this entire thing numbered that corresponds to what stitch is what what it's made up of. Sometimes it's multiple different kinds of stitches. And then I give a picture like of what the final block is supposed to look like. And then I created a stitch diagram, which literally shows you come up here, count this many threads, go down here, come up, 1, 2, 3, 4, like what to do first, what to do second, what to do third, because some of the stitches are overlaid stitches. So you have to stitch one thing and then you overlay another thread on top of that, or you weave it in and out, things like that. So it should be fairly straightforward when you read it. Yeah. So, and the whole booklet is that. It's a 12-page, 10 or 12. Was it? Oh, well, let me see. No. Well, they count front to back, so it's front to back, so it's actually 1, 2, 3. It's actually 4 pages inside, but they're double-sided, so 8 pages of directions inside Father Lee. And if you have questions, you can always email me. This, I think, would be a really good teaching piece. So I haven't set up any teaching schedules yet. I mean, it's just coming out. But if you're interested, contact me. Yeah, so there's Father Lee, named for Father Lee, and soon to be his wife, Mother Shirley, next year. I think you'll really like it if you like specialty stitches. If you're one of those people, I mean, I like alphabets, right? Some people can't stand them. I like specialty stitches, and I really like specialty flosses and things like that because it's different. That's my jam. So I think it's a lot of fun, and it's not really overly difficult. You just have to pay attention. Sometimes the stuff can be a little difficult, a little challenging to work with. I mean, it is metal that's spun really, really finely. You don't use thread conditioner when you use metallic threads. Oops. When you're using metallic threads, you don't use thread conditioner. You just use shorter lengths, not like this short, but you don't need 18-inch. You use a shorter length, maybe a 9 or a 10-inch length, and you don't just willy-nilly like pull it through. You have to be more tender with it so that it doesn't bend or break or shred or catch, those kinds of things. Just be a little gentle with it. With these, I did use a needle threader. I found that to make it easiest. I used a regular tapestry petite needle. I think a size 26 is what I use. Standard stuff, but it was a lot of fun. So check it out. Come to Nashville. Ask your local needlework store. They can get it for you. Father Lee. Hi, I'm back. I did this whole discussion, this whole talk about the Lady Gadoy needlework set. You probably can't see from this angle, but beneath me are all of my needlework sets that are posted on the website. And she sold. So I didn't want to post this whole talk about why I made the Lady Gadoy needlework set and what it represents, the lucky person who owns it. Maybe I should leave it in there at the end, just in case that person watches. Okay, I'll do it. So if you don't want to hear about a needlework set that's already sold, then you can just stop after I do this next talk. But let's talk about a needlework set since I have plenty. Let's do one that's a little bit different. This one is like a wonderful globe. Okay, I love travel-y type things. I love maps, clocks, I don't know. I'm a Francophile, so those are a few things about me. And this fabric just captured my heart. So this beautiful, it's centered perfectly. I'm so proud of myself. Right in the back, this wonderful globe. The front is the rest of the map. See, the seam is perfect here and here. So, it has this great pearl and kind of crystal closure, and it's lined in blue, which has a compass rose. It's really faint compass roses, and then a white compass rose. So that's the project bag, and it's really big. I mean, you can see how big it is. Let me measure while we're sitting here. You can't see, but my work table, it's 17 inches wide. So it's very, very wide and almost 11 inches deep. So certainly would hold a booklet. It would hold just about anything you wanted to hold. It would probably hold some Q-snaps as well, because it's nice and big. And the Notions bag matches it, same fabric. It has a big compass rose on it, like how that's captured. And this also has the blue compass rose lining. I mean, look at that. The seam is perfect. I'm very proud of myself. It took me many years to get to that point. But here's the Notions bag. Again, another little kind of bronze and crystal closure that matches this one. And, okay, the accessories for this set are pretty awesome. This was a pin, and it is a silver, it's a sterling silver airliner pin. Isn't that great? And it, it has some weight because it's sterling silver, and it's just, I mean, really, an airplane, come on now. Okay, and it has a chatelaine. A chatelaine is really like floss jewelry. So it's a floss ring. You put your, the teardrop tags that you hang your floss on, or I braid my floss, things like this. So here's my chatelaine for what I'm stitching now. And here's my floss jewelry. Ta-da! And then, it's the ring that you put it on. So it has a chatelaine that comes with it, a little bit of vintage lace on it. And this is the scissor fob in blues and kind of a shimmery crystal and silver. And it has gold stork embroidery scissors. So that's the whole set together. Really big set, but I really like it. Maps. I don't know why. I just have a thing for maps. So while we're here, since I haven't discussed any stitching other than Father Lee, which is specialty stitches, I have a sampler that I've been working on, and it was supposed to be for release this year. It is a, pick it up. I'm doing it in conjunction with Treenway silks. So that's what these are. These are Treenway silks. And this is how far I am. So I still have, obviously it's not going to be released this year. Please, Lord, let it be released next year. I don't know. If I start, I'm like halfway. This is a big old house though. This is like a big old house. Yeah. Here it is. I've been posting on Instagram kind of when I, little bits of it as I finish it, but here it is so far. And it's not done. Yeah. But so many things going on, So, and this is me testing other stitches. This is actually part of a Voltaire border. This is what I tested out, and the Voltaire border is actually what's on the Petit Peacock that's being released this year. So, some part of this is kind of being released this year. This has no specialty stitches in it. It's all cross stitch. So it can be done on linen, or you can do it on Aida. So no specialty stitches in that big sampler. Yeah, that's it. That's what I've been stitching on, other than all the models that I stitch, because I don't have a model stitcher. I do all of my own. That takes a lot of time, which means I don't get to stitch other people's stuff anymore, and my stash is so big. All of the needlework sets that I use for my, this is what I'm using for the model that I'm stitching right now. It's pretty. But all of the ones that I use are all the seconds. They're the ones that I sewed upside down, or they went, they're crooked, or something. There's something wrong with them. There's some reason I can't sell them. I would never sell them in a needlework set. So now they're mine. So occasionally maybe I just flub up just so I have my own. No. Maybe it's like subconscious mind saying I really like this one and I think I need to sew it upside down so I can keep it for myself. I have this beautiful one that's in Irish linen, and it was just a well-worn vintage, really wonderful vintage piece of Irish linen, and it's completely upside down. But now I hold all of my modern folk embroidery stuff in there. So there. I hope you enjoyed the talk about Father Lee, and I hope you enjoyed seeing one of the needlework sets that maybe you didn't know existed, and seeing a preview of the model with what I'm doing with Treenway Silks. So yeah, have a great day, have a great week, and I hope you got some stitching done while you were watching. Okay, talk to you later. Bye. So this one is called Lady Gadoy, and it is a sateen finish, which is just feels really, really soft. And it's Lady Gadoy because the fabric itself on the edge of it, it's a Waverly, and it is called Lady Gadoy. And I looked up, I couldn't find a Lady Gadoy, but there is Lady Gadoy's magazine. I put in Lady or Gadoy's Ladies Book or something like that, and it was the first like women's magazine. It was really popular, and in this era it had fashion and all kinds of things that ladies wanted back then. I mean, look at them, they're so fashionable in the garden. So because they're in a garden and it's a rose garden, it is lined and it has a flap, contrasting flap that is a rose pattern. And then I put this it's not a ribbon, it's actually just a little binding, which I thought was kind of nice detail, and it kind of matches a little bit on her skirt. It's lined in the rose color, and this is a fabric from Portugal. The notions bag is Saju cotton, and it has a little pearlescent button for the closure. Also lined in the Portuguese rose fabric. I should have taken these out so you can see them, but they're gonna stay in the bags. So the scissor and the scissor fob are pearl, and this I really like. It has a little cap, and they're kind of a bronzy metal, and it has some metal beads that are carved, and it has pearl, and these are Queen embroidery scissors. And the needle minder is a cameo. It's a really awesome cameo. So it's a woman reclining. So very much in the theme of, the women on the fabric itself, kind of Lady Gadoy. Here she is reclining. She's very fashionable. And it's porcelain, so it's a good weight. And it has a little gold rope around the outside. And the last fun piece is a little needle book or ort holder. And I call these little scrappies because I make them from scraps that I have left over from making the bags. So it's closed with a little, I put a button and a ribbon to close it. And then it is inside, it opens up, and it has, you can always put some orts, on it. You can put here's a little counting pin, keep your needles in here, counting pins in here, put your scraps of your threads in here, keep your orts in here. Yeah, just a little scrappy, little something extra that goes with it. I just posted that. Lady Gadoy's needlework set. I'll put it all together. So the little scrappy and the needle minder and the scissors and the scissor fob in the notions bag, inside of the project bag, Lady Gadoy's needlework set. Because listen, Your project bag and your notions and your accessories, they should be as beautiful and elegant and timeless as the things that you stitch. You put your things in something like this, something you pass down generation to generation, and I think it gives you a lot of motivation. You take it out, you're like, oh, it's so pretty, and then you pull out your stitching and oh, that's so great too. So there you go, the newest needlework set. Have a fantastic week or weekend, and hopefully you're seeing this before market. Then it'll be like Christmas, like needlework Christmas, cross stitch Christmas. That's a good thing to call it. Anyway, I'm still getting ready. I'm packing up and still stuffing, and I'll be on my way soon, and I'll talk to you when I get back. Maybe I'll even talk to you from there. You never know.